KUTV's News at 9. Once again, we get to do this here. Let's get the highlights. President William Ruto announces increment of HELB loans from 45 billion to 82 billion as the government strives to release new directives regarding university admission letters. Court bans police officers from using balaclavas and masks during demonstrations. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua urges cabinet secretaries to deliver quality services to Kenyans, stating that loyalty to the head of state and the government is non-negotiable. The Kenya Olympics team receives a warm welcome at Eldoret State Lodge.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
That is right. With my company is Lucy Carrier. Will begin. President William Ruto has issued the new directives to universities, asking them to withdraw the misleading fee structure initially sent to parents. Ruto emphasized that the government has allocated enough funds for loans and scholarships, especially for needy students. Additionally, he also asked parents to expect new admission letters from higher learning institutions.
During his South Mugrango, Kisii County development tour, accompanied by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, President William Ruto, while inaugurating the Etago Market and Raisuta Etibonge last mile electrification process alongside the affordable housing project, directed universities to withdraw misleading fee structure letters sent to parents, stressing that they should specify the exact amount of fees parent ought to pay. This follows numerous complaints about fee hikes. Ruto also announced a HELB funding boost from 45 billion shillings to 82 billion shillings.
Tumesema hizo barua ziondolewe, na leo tunatoa barua ambayo itamueleza mzazi kiwango ya pesa anahitaji kulipa, na serikali ya Kenya tumetoa pesa ya kutosha kuhakikisha kwamba kuna loan, kuhakikisha kwamba kuna scholarship, hasa kwa watoto ambao wazazi wao hawana uwezo wa kutosha.
While accompanying President Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua urged the Mugurango residents to come together and support the government's project in the region.
Na mimi nimefurahi kumsindikisha rais hapa kwa mambo ya affordable housing, kwa sababu watu ya hapa Gusii mashamba yenu ni kidogo sana. Kama kuna jamii ambaye inastahili kuunga mkono hii program ya affordable housing ni watu ya Kisii na Nyamira, kwa sababu mashamba yenu ni kidogo. So nyinyi mkuje muishi hapa kwa orofa ya 7 ya 8, mteremuke muende kwa mashamba, jioni mrudi kwa orofa.
Kisii Governor Simba Arati clarified that no contract was signed between the Kenya Kwanza government and ODM, but rather stated that the broad-based government initiated by President Ruto was just an agreement to allow him to include ODM members in government to foster collaboration and harmony in the country.
Wewe endelea kushikanisha serikali na wale ndugu zetu ambao tumekupea kutoka chama cha ODM. Wale ambao kuna wasiwasi, sisi kama ODM hatujaweka mkataba wote na serikali ya Kenya Kwanza, lakini tumekubaliana kwamba Mheshimiwa Rais lazima aongoze hii nchi ndiposa izame.
Ruto's sentiments come as he concluded his 3-day tour in Nyamira, Kisii counties. Watching Cynthia for KUTV News.
The second reading of the county government's additional allocation bill that is intended to ensure development of the infrastructure at the county level saw members of the August House insist on accountability from the Budget and Appropriations Committee once the funds are released to the counties. Anyango Sylvia unpacks what is in the bill and the way forward after these amendments.
The county government's additional allocation bill seeks to provide conditional allocations to supplement construction of county headquarters, fund the community health promoters project, develop the county aggregation and industrial parks, and facilitate the transfer of museums to county government.
When you look at the additional allocation to our counties, are monies that are provided by development partners from many areas: water, health, urban development.
And therefore I want to call upon our county governments. I know that from the development partner monies that we've received, that is in form of loans and grants, some of this money will be going as grants for healthcare services. I want to plead with the county government to ensure that there is efficiency and accountability.
However, despite the promise made by Vice Chair of the Budget and Appropriation Committee, Mary Amase, that the committee shall be visiting the projects often for oversight, the members reiterated their complaints on extravagant expenditure by leaders on minor tasks, which in turn threatens the project's effectiveness.
These monies, from my understanding, although they are allocated to the counties, the National Assembly or the Senate does not have a clear purview of how these funds are utilized, how they are oversighted.
Division of Revenue Act 2024 increased county allocation by 14.69 billion shillings from 385.4 billion shillings to 401 billion shillings in the 2024-2025 financial year. The new allocations believed to be accounted for in the recently assented supplementary appropriation bill, Nairobi County will receive the lion's share of 20.8 billion shillings, followed by Nakuru County and Turkana County, which will get 14.1 billion shillings and 13.6 billion shillings respectively. On the tail end, Elgeyo Marakwet will receive 4.9 billion shillings, as Tharaka Nithi and Lamu County will receive the least amount of 4.5 billion shillings and 3.36 billion shillings respectively. Following the withdrawal of the 2024-2025 finance bill, the second and third schedules sourcing funds from the controversial levies, including road maintenance fuel levy, were deleted. The bill, which originated from the Senate, is now set for the third reading with all the amendments included to allow members to vote before it is presented to the President for assent. Anyango Sylvia, KUTV.
Now, the Senate has resolved to tackle the impeachment charges against Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza in plenary, rejecting the initial proposal of the House Business Committee to form an 11-member committee to investigate the charges. Senate will now be deliberating on the matter on Monday, the 19th of August, and Tuesday, the 20th of August. This decision follows Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza's third impeachment attempt in 2 years, following allegations of gross constitutional violations, misconduct, and abuse of office. The High Court of Kenya has issued directives to the Office of the Inspector General of Police mandating police officers not to hide their identities during protests. The police will now be required to wear the respective name tags and display their service numbers as part of their uniforms. Brian Tobiko with the details.
The High Court of Kenya, through Justice Bahati Mamuye, has issued orders based on the application filed by the Law Society of Kenya in regards to police masking their identities during the previously held protest. The case was filed in response to public outcry from demonstrators who alleged that the police officers were concealing their identities with masks while engaging in unlawful acts. On Wednesday, the High Court directed the following. The police shall at all times have a name tag or an identifiable service number in a clearly visible part of their uniform, which is not to be obscured while engaging with the protesters. Plainclothes or ununiformed police officers shall not hide their faces or render them unidentifiable to the demonstrators. The police officers shall not obscure the identification, registration, or markings in any motor vehicle being used while dealing with demonstrators. The respondents have been given until August 21st to file and serve their responses to the applications, with the court saying that the matter will be mentioned on September 17th. Brian Tobiko, KUTV.
Many thanks to Biko for that report. Now, as we continue, the newly appointed cabinet secretaries have been urged to serve Kenyans with humility and to adhere to the constitution as the rule of law as they resume duties in their respective ministries. Addressing them during the conclusion of the 2 days induction, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua emphasized the importance of prioritizing public investments and delivering quality service. Doris Chanlo has more.
Days after the appointment of new cabinet secretaries, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, speaking at the closure of a 2-day training for the CSEs, urged them to work diligently and transparently to effectively deliver on the Kenya Kwanza plan.
The power we wield is delegated to us by the people of Kenya. We are oath and honor bound to only exercise that power in strict conformity with the Constitution and to use that power for the enduring benefit of the people of Kenya. On the second point, we must be open and accessible leaders who listen, learn, and lead not just by words, but by example. Don't lock yourself up in your office.
Additionally, Gachagua has urged the CSEs to be loyal and uphold respect for President William Ruto and the Constitution while ensuring close communication with Kenyans and their fellow workers.
Unwavering loyalty to His Excellency the President as we carry out our duties and responsibilities. We want to encourage you as you settle down in your respective ministries, make it your business to go to the field and inspect the work that your officials are doing or whatever is being done in your ministry. Interact with ordinary Kenyans from all walks of life. The feedback you can receive from the watchman, farmer, or the Uber driver can be 1,000,000 times better than reports and briefings of officials in your ministry.
Shortly after the DP's remarks, Labour Cabinet Secretary Mutua affirmed his commitment to ensuring that workers' grievances are heard and sorted. CS Mutua also today handed over the office of the Tourism CS to Rebecca Miano, with Opio Wandai being handed over the Ministry of Energy by Davis Chirchir. Cabinet secretaries are expected to demonstrate effectiveness in implementing development plans and ensuring quality service for Kenyans to achieve progress in the country. Doris Chalo, KUTV.
Kaunti maarufu kwa kuzalisha maziwa na ukuzaji wa majani chai. Pia, serikali ya kaunti inawahimiza wakulima kukumbatia mitindo mingine ya kilimo kuzidisha mapato.
Kama kuna kikundi moja inafanya biashara ya kuuza kuku, hao pia tumewafadhili kuwafunza jinsi ya kuhandle zile kuku kwa sababu wanaleta kwa wingi.
Haya yote tunakuletea katika Boresha Kilimo, toleo la kaunti ya Bomet.
Kilimo ni nguzo kubwa kwa ujenzi wa taifa.
Over 200,000 school-going children have benefited from the Additional County School Feeding Program in Nairobi since August 2023.
Masomo imefanya pia watoto waendelee kusoma, wapende shule, wapende kwenda shule juu wakienda huko wanapata chakula.
Then you'll find children will avail themselves in school. Quite a number of them, or the whole population.
Responsively, the management has noted better performance in schools.
There's a case of a lady called Mildred. She actually came to one of our events to just let us know that, because of Dishi, she actually did very well in her KCP.
Join me, Doris Charlo, this Thursday for this feature on the impacts of school feeding programs only on KUTV.
Kenyatta University, through the Ministry of Education, is calling on its students to apply for available Universities Fund, which offers scholarship of up to 70% based on their level of needs as determined by the means testing instrument MTI. To benefit from this program, send your application before 15th August 2024. For any assistance on loan and scholarship application, visit our main campus along Thika Superhighway or other branches in Nakuru, Mombasa, Kisumu, Kitui, and Parklands campus. For more information, visit our website at applications.ku.ac.ke or www.hef.co.ke. Service is free of charge.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
And we are back. Apologies for the early interruption of sound, and we'll continue with that story. The Committee on Appointments has today approved the nomination of Dorcas Oduor and Beatrice Askul as Attorney General and Cabinet Secretary for East Africa Community Affairs, respectively. The two are now expected to be sworn in to assume their offices. They were both vetted by the committee on Friday, the 9th of August, after being nominated by the President on the 30th of June. The office of the Attorney General was held by Justin Muturi, and that of East Africa Affairs was held by Penina Malonza before they were dismissed.
This House approves the appointment of the following persons. 1. Ms. Beatrice Askul Moy as the Cabinet Secretary for East African Community Affairs and Regional Development. And 2. Ms. Dorcas Agik Odong Oduor, Senior Counsel, OGW, as the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya.
This House approves the appointment of the following persons. Ms. Beatrice Askul Moy as the Cabinet Secretary for East African Community Affairs and Regional Development, and Ms. Dorcas Agik Odong Oduor, Senior Counsel, OGW, as the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
The National Syndemic Disease Control Council, NSDCC, has called for measures to end HIV infections, teenage pregnancies, sexual and gender-based violence in the country. Speaking at Garissa University during a forum for community gatekeepers, Wario Boru, an official from the NSDCC, expressed concerns over the increasing rates of HIV infections among young people.
In Garissa, where we are,
Kenya has been ranked 7th in the HIV epidemic, with about 1.4 million Kenyans living with HIV and only 90% of them under medication. National Syndemic Disease Control Council Officer Douglas Bosire, while speaking at Garissa University, expressed concerns over rising cases of HIV and teenage pregnancies.
Kila siku hapa Kenya watoto 691 wanapachikwa mimba. Mtoto wa miaka 10 anafaa kuwa wapi? Mtoto wa miaka 11 anafaa kuwa wapi, ndugu zangu?
Bosire further made a clarion call on all men to be responsible and advised them to avoid sexual relations with children who are not of age. Children are increasingly turning out to be victims of teenage pregnancies, sexually transmitted diseases, including HIV and other health complications.
Kwa sababu unakukuta mtoto and from the backyard, sile surveys imefanyika zinaonesha kwamba as early as 9 years mtoto ya miaka 9 msichana ako na uwezo ya kupachikwa mimba.
The County Governor Nadif Jama, who was in attendance, called for formation of a county engagement committee to address these issues that have led to the increase of teenage pregnancies, HIV infections, and gender-based violence.
We will have that steering committee to counter these very serious vices, and we will have serious recommendations coming out from there.
Unlike in the early 1990s and early 2000s, where higher rates of HIV infections were prevalent in Nyanza, today infections have spread all over the country, with parents being asked to stop shying off from having conversations on sexual education with their children.
Wale wanaolike nao watamtafuta, wakimtafuta watampata, wakimpata watamtumia, na watatekeleza lile lengo ambalo wako nalo. Sisi tunachukulia kwamba social media ni uwanja wa mawasiliano, lakini je, haya mawasiliano ya watoto wetu tunajali ama tuna...
Brian Tobiko, KUTV.
A chaotic incident erupted at the Orange Democratic Movement ODM party offices in Kilifi town when two groups of opposing youths clashed over the party's leadership in Kilifi County. Elsewhere, a group of political and opinion leaders from Mount Kenya East have urged elected officials in the region to cease political distractions and concentrate on delivering services.
Chaos erupted at Kilifi County ODM party offices when two groups of rival youth clashed over the leadership of the party in the county. The conflict began when one group gathered at the office, preparing to announce a forceful takeover of the party. However, their plans were interrupted when the opposing group arrived and disrupted the press conference that had been called. During the altercation, those attempting the takeover were physically ejected from the premises as the police strived to restore calm within the premises. Elsewhere, a section of political and opinion leaders from Mount Kenya East have called on elected leaders in the region to stop political distractions and concentrate on service delivery. They criticized some leaders for engaging in succession and power struggles, warning that this would hinder development efforts. Their concern was particularly directed at an alleged plot to impeach Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, with some suggesting that he is being targeted due to his support for the one-man, one-vote, one-shilling revenue-sharing formula, which is favored by some regional leaders. As supremacy battles continue to play out both in the ruling party and opposition, the coming days are proving crucial in determining how these political dynamics will play out, locally and nationally. Zoilin Akware, KUTV.
Wetu kwa ziara maendeleo.
Now, Sports Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen welcomed the final group of athletes, including 800 meters gold medalist Emmanuel Wanyonyi, marathon bronze medalist Benson Kipruto, and 5,000 meters silver medalist Ronald Kwemoi back to the country at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. The athletes will on Thursday meet the president in Eldoret for a grand reception at the just concluded Paris Olympics in France.
After a stellar campaign at the Paris 2024 Olympics, the last batch of Team Kenya Olympic heroes jetted back to the country to a jubilant crowd. Kenya wrapped up the Paris 2024 Olympics with a remarkable haul of 11 medals, leading the continent in the medals tally. The team's success was highlighted by 4 gold medals, 2 secured by Beatrice Chebet in the 5,000 meter and 10,000 meter women's category, as well as Faith Kipyegon and Emmanuel Wanyonyi in the 1,500 meter women and 800 meter men's category, respectively. Silver medalists included Faith Kipyegon and Ronald Kwemoi at the 5,000 meter women's and men's category, respectively. Faith Cherotich and Abraham Kibiot secured bronze in the 3,000 meter women's and men's, respectively, as was Benson Kipruto and Helen Obiri at the men's and women's marathons, respectively. Mary Mora wrapped it up with a bronze at the 800 meter women category. Upon arrival, athletes serving under the Kenya Police Service were congratulated and promoted to higher ranks in their respective dockets upon reception by their superiors and senior government officials at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on Tuesday night. In a statement on X, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi reaffirmed the government's commitment to ensuring there is an enabling environment that can catapult Kenyan athletes to the highest levels of the sport, lauding them for making Kenya proud with their performance in Paris. President William Ruto will on Thursday host the team at a grand reception in Eldoret for a State Lodge breakfast before the convoy heads to the Eldoret Sports Club for grand entry to inaugurate the former Eldoret town dubbed the City of Champions to city status officially. The Olympic medalists are expected to arrive at Uasin Gishu County in Eldoret via the presidential jet from Nairobi, where they will receive cash prizes and additional medals as the president appreciates them for the good work done in elevating the country's name regionally and globally in Paris Games. For KUTV Sports, I'm Sam Metiaki.
Well, congratulations, Team Kenya, for making us proud. Now, Tennis Kenya, through the Confederation of Africa Tennis, is set to lobby the International Tennis Federation, ITF, in a bid to change the selection process of athletes qualifying for the Olympics. This comes after the African Games champions Angela Okuitoi missed out on the Paris Olympics through the current controversial qualification rules. Previously, tennis players who qualified for the Olympics were given 8 months to 1 year to meet the target, either through ranking points or winning the controversial continental titles. Tennis Kenya Executive Officer Nancy Nduku stated that the process will now include lobbying other continental federations to have the continental champions given direct tickets to the Olympics. Tusker FC has officially unveiled 11 new signings as they gear up for the 2024-2025 KPL campaigns. Among the standing out additions were Ugandan international S. George Kadu and Bobab Zirintusa, both set to bring their experience and flair to the squad. The Brewers have also secured the services of several promising local talents that include Yusuf Afande Mainge, Jacob Onyango, Dennis Wanjala, Ryan Ogam, and Thomas Omole. Adding to this impressive lineup is Alex Onchari, a rising star from Mohoroni Youth, and Teddy Doc Onyango, who has been promoted from Tusker Youth after showing exceptional potential. Well, that is all the time we had for you here on KUTV's News at 9. Many thanks for being with us. In my company, I have had Lucy Kiarie in the sign language interpretation. Keep it KUTV for more information. I'll sign out for now.